not 6 o'clock
He stopped
yet.
by my house one day.
All right, good evening. Just give it 30 seconds. I don't have 6 o'clock yet, but. All right. This is the Joint Protection of Persons and Property Subcommittee and Town Council meeting of Tuesday, June 1st, 2021 at 6 p.m. here in council chambers, as well as remote participation. Before I read the announcement, just for the public and the fellow councilors that are here this evening, Councilor Lazo is delayed at this time. Had contacted me to see if I would take, at least moderate the meeting, which I have done in the past as chairman of the council and ex officio of these subcommittees. Given the fact that we should have a quorum present, I will not participate in any votes. I will simply just moderate the discussion for the record. Chairman's announcements pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the Open Meeting Law, General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 18, and the Governor's March 15, 2020 order imposing strict limitations on the number of people that may gather in one place. This meeting and the protections of persons and property town council meeting is being conducted as a remote participation. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings as provided for in the order. Reminded that persons who would like to view this meeting while in progress may do so by watching by the remote information noted below. We will post a record of this meeting on the town's website at www.ci.southbridge.ma.us as soon as we're able to. A roll call vote will be required for all votes taken under this order. So roll call. Councilor Lazo is excused. Councilor Adams.
Present.
I could barely hear you, but I see you said present. And
Yeah.
Councilor
Can
Adams.
you hear me okay?
Yeah, there you go. Councilor Adams is participating via remote. Councilor Catrona.
Present.
Citizen Member Julian.
Present.
Citizen Member Laverne.
Present.
Okay, we do have a quorum. Considering accept the Protection of Persons and Properties FY 2022 minutes of April 21st, 2021. I did not see any minutes in the packet. Did anybody have minutes? No. Okay, so we will make sure that we get that held over to a next PPP meeting. Next several items are with the police department. Item 3, review and discuss a police department request for a transfer from account number 001210.511000 salary to account number 011210.521000 electricity in the amount of $5,000 to cover electricity costs for the remainder of the fiscal year. Entertain a motion to recommend the council approve this transfer.
So move. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. And
Second.
okay, we did have a motion and a second here with Councilors Catrona and Citizen Member Julian. Okay, Chief, are you taking this one?
Sure. Good evening, Mr. Chair and fellow members of the council and citizen members and Mr. Town Manager. So this, back in fiscal year 18, we had about $44,000 budgeted for this. In fiscal year 19, we had $44,000 budgeted for this. Fiscal year 20, we reduced it to $36,000 because of the solar. Is that just me that hears that? Okay.
Can they mute, maybe?
Council Adams, there you go, Council Adams. Yep, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, I apologize. Fiscal year 20, we reduced that line item from $44,000 to $36,000 during the budget process because I was told that we were going to get all kinds of credits from solar. So in 20, I had to do a transfer to cover some costs, some overages, because again, we originally reduced it from 44 to 36,000. FY 21, we're at 36,000 again. FY 22, we're at 36,000 again for electricity. But again, these overages, I can't predict them because it all depends on what kind of offsets I'm getting from solar. And I don't know the science behind it or why that's happening, but we started at 44,000 and we slowly reduced it to 36. Assuming that my electricity bills would drop and they kind of staying the same, we'll say, and I don't know why that is. I can't answer that question. So here I am looking for a transfer to cover some overages in electricity use.
Okay. Any questions? Councilor Adams, you all set? Okay,
All set.
all right. So go roll call. Councilor Adams?
Yes.
Councilor Catrona?
Yes.
Citizen Member Julian,
Yes.
and Citizen Member Laverne.
Yes.
Am I saying that right, Zach?
Yes.
Laverne? Okay. Okay, motion carries 4-0. Agenda item 4, review and discuss a police department request for a transfer from account number 001210.511000 salary to account number 001210.515000 holiday in the amount of $10,000 to cover the cost of holiday pay for Memorial Day for police officers and dispatchers. Entertain a motion to vote to recommend to council to approve this
So moved.
transfer.
Second.
Catrona and Laverne. Chief?
Through you again, Mr. Chair. This is one that was always historically under budgeted. This budget season coming up, the FY22, I believe we've corrected it. I've always had to come back and do transfers. Back in 18, I did a little over $8,000. Back in 19, over $8,000. 20 was $5,400. So now to finish out 21, we need this transfer to cover all the costs, but I believe for FY22, it's been corrected to the best that I can as far as holidays.
Thank you. Questions? Council Dan?
Yes, please. Through you, Mr. Chair, to either the manager or the chief, is Juneteenth a holiday this year? No.
If he wants to, but at this time.
So, the wording in the existing union contracts for our 3 unions right now say that it only lists what's specifically in the contract. That is not in it, so we'll have to address that as they come up one by one, unless we wind up going into any one of these contracts, opening them up for another reason. At that time, we would consider approaching the subject.
Thank you.
Sorry, hold on one second. I'm just logging on because somebody's hit chat and I cannot read it, so. What's going on?
Hey, Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
Council Adams. That was probably me because I was logging off the laptop, throwing it on the phone.
Okay, thank you, Council. All right. Any
Just letting you
further?
know.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Council Adams, you had a question? Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to make a comment. I appreciate the police chief and the rest of the police department on the outstanding job they did here yesterday during the Memorial Day parade ceremony. Appreciate them showing up. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything further? Seeing none, roll call. Council Adams?
Yes, yes.
Council Catrona?
Yes.
Citizen Member Julian?
Yes.
And Citizen Member Laverne?
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. Thank you. Agenda item 5, review and discuss a total donation of $100,000 from the President and Chief Executive Officer of United Lens, Bill Lanning, for the construction of the new animal kennel project. The donation will be paid yearly at $25,000. Interviews begin with this payment on May 1st, 2021, and for the next 3 years. I'll entertain a motion to vote to recommend council accept the total $100,000 donation.
So moved.
Second. Council Catrona, Citizen Member Julian. Chief?
And if I could, just to provide some background on this for the citizen members or councils that may not be familiar with it, this project started about 10 or 11 years ago. It's been ongoing. I intend to get it done. And with this donation, this helps. And just for any questions that I may get on it, as of this morning, we had a balance in the kennel account, $218,037.88. We just put in a request through capital for another $20,000, which was approved by this council. And then with this $25,000 donation from the United Lens, with $75,000 pending, that brings us to $263,000.38. I spoke with our chief financial officer this morning. I spoke with the town manager last week about the possibility of getting this $100,000 up front and having United Lens pay it back in those staggered payments, but I will leave that to the finance people before we do any of that. The only purpose for tonight, I just wanted to get it out there, get it on the record. I intend on moving forward with this at some point, and with the approval of the, hopeful approval of the council, so we'd have a little over $338,000 in this account by the time all this is said and done. United Lens has been in this community for more than 100 years. They have donated more than several hundred thousand dollars to the police department. I don't anticipate that they wouldn't honor this commitment. So I just want to leave that there for now, and this is just to get this project done, hopefully very soon. Bay Path's on board. The town manager's been very involved with pushing this on, but Bay Path, like everybody else, got delayed. I was speaking with citizen member Julian about that prior to this meeting. It's unfortunate, but they're just way behind right now, and the kids have a lot of other commitments that they need to wrap up before coming to our community, but I hope that happens in the fall.
Council Catrona?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Through you, it's a very generous donation. I certainly look forward to proceeding with this project and finally seeing it accomplished, completed. Thank you.
And if I could, Mr. Chair, the United Lens does not want to be recognized. They're actually upset that I mentioned them, but I told them that I had to, it's a public meeting, it's a donation, we have to know where the money's coming from. So, they're a great business, great company, great family.
Any other? Seeing none? Roll call. Council Lazo?
Yes. Yes.
Council Catrona?
Yes.
Councilor Adams?
Yes.
Citizen Member Julian?
Yes.
And Citizen Member Laverne?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Do you want me to continue, Council?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, thank you. Item 6, review and discuss the police chief's recommendation to adjust the salary schedule for the animal control officer from S5 to S7 with a maximum hourly rate of $25.11 as of July 1st, 2021, which would be an increase of $2.74 per hour or $5,343 per year. Entertain a motion to recommend to council to approve adjusting the schedule.
So moved. Second.
Councilors Catrona and Laverne. Mr. Do you want the chief take it, or you want to start, Mr. Town Manager?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll let the chief do the bulk of the talking, but the chief notified me immediately, probably 2 weeks ago, that there was an issue where an outside agency was looking at our animal control officer, and as you all know, we gave her recognition within the last year for her outstanding performance here in the town of Southbridge. And I worked in a community previously where we had a motto that if we had good people, we wanted to make sure we could keep them and not let other people come in. The chief and I had a long conversation that afternoon about people coming in and trying to take people away. ACO Spencer is unique in that she's not in the union, so that shouldn't cause a problem with what we're doing here by amending this. But based on my interactions, you've all dealt with her during that dog hearing that we had not too long ago, as well as the recognition she received for the investigation she did in that animal cruelty case. I think this is an individual who is representative of the hard work that's done by our people in law enforcement and someone that we want to retain. And I'll turn it over to the chief for any additional comments.
Thank you, sir. Through you, Mr. Chair, this decision is certainly not made in a vacuum. What I did a little bit of research on the ACO officers, and you've seen it in the memo if you've already read it. The Oxford Animal Control Officer is at a higher wage. The Sturbridge Animal Control Officer is at a higher wage. The Auburn ACO is at a much higher wage, and I challenge any of them to say that they do even near the amount of work that our ACO does. So when I found out, and I was told by our employee, because she's loyal, that they were trying to poach her from us, and they approached her, and, you know, for lack of a better word, I'll keep it polite in a public meeting, but you'll hear me talk about it about our police officers too, when they jump to other communities, and they have a much different call volume, we'll say. So we talked about it. I did my research. I spoke with the manager. Just to recruit and find another animal control officer would be, and I think you see it in the memo, over $15,000. We got to send these candidates to extensive training at academies, you know, 104 hours. Cost of the academy, tuition, uniform. Then when they get out of the academy, they're going to be retrained. We have to pay our Oxford Animal Control Officer to train our Southbridge ACO. And it just seemed like the right thing to do to reward good employees. And most importantly, I'm not coming here and asking for more money for my FY22 budget. It's in there. I have budgeted for 38 police officers. I have never had 38 police officers working. I still don't. So this money is easily to absorb, this $5,300 and some change. I don't need I won't be coming forward looking for more requests into our salary account. We can easily get this done for July 1st, and I just think it rewards good people for great work.
Thank you. Questions? Council Marquetti.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, through you. The only question I have is, I thought we had the Sturbridge ACO covering in Southbridge.
And if I could, Mr.
Good.
Chair, we do, but there's, believe it or not, the call volume, well, you guys believe it, you all know it, you live here. The call volume is pretty high, and we can't always find people to cover us. And the Sturbridge ACO's done great, but the Oxford ACO is kind of like the old reliable for us. She has seemed to fill in constantly, has never said no to us. So sometimes we lean on her a little bit too much, and in fact, right now, we're using their kennel, because we don't have one. So Oxford's great, Sturbridge is great, but Oxford has just been by far head and shoulders. And she's already agreed to train someone else if they came in, but we have to pay her to train, and this just seemed like the right thing to do.
All right,
Thank you. Any other questions? Citizen Member Julian?
So, the Charlton Police Chief pursued our ACO. He's also pursuing our police officers?
Bush League, yes. Why? Yeah.
Seems kind of odd from a surrounding town to be pursuing our employees.
Yes. It's been happening for years. It's just getting worse now. And I'll get into that when we touch base on our police officers.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Chief, thank you for, just as a council, I'll just speak as council and moderating this. I appreciate the fact that you did provide us information, detailed information on what the surrounding towns are paying the animal control officers and the amount of work that ours does, and the recognition that she has. Speaking in previous facts, animal control officer probably, I know in my experience, is one of the hardest positions to fill. And when you have a quality one, whatever you do, especially if we're paying comparable to what surrounding towns are, I have no problem paying for services that, for what they're valued at. So, I too, we've had this conversation about other towns coming to our community to seek our employees, and they know that our employees work at a high level and very busy, so they're getting a highly trained, valuable asset that they don't have to compensate for training and all that, and for us to replace it would be costly, so I certainly would support this. Anything further? Seeing none, roll call. Council Lazo.
Yes.
Council Catrona.
Yes.
Council Adams.
Yes.
Citizen Member Julian.
Yes.
Citizen Member Laverne.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Item 7, review and discuss the appointment, I'll just say, of 3 police officers, but we'll go. Discuss the appointment of Aaron Berry as a full-time police officer effective immediately upon completion of the state ethics training, all medical physical testing, and successful completion of the police academy. Entertain a motion to recommend to council for consideration.
So moved.
Second.
Councilors Lazo and Catrona. Chief, I'll go to the town manager first, and then we'll defer to the chief for his recommendations. Mr. Town Manager.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would just like to say that the chief did contact me about filling these 3 positions. He did talk to me about the 3 candidates that are before you. I did happen to see their paperwork, and I'll let you hear from the chief about their individual qualifications, but based on what he's told me, the fact that one of them is a reserve police officer in a neighboring town, the other 2 are Southbridge residents, one they've studied criminal justice, one has been through the Reserve Intermittent Academy as well. I think they're well positioned to come in and become new recruits for the town of Southbridge.
Thank you. Chief?
Thank you, sir. And if I could, through you, Mr. Chair. So we're currently budgeted, like I had said earlier, for 38 police officers. We have 33 working, 2 are in the academy. They won't be out until August. That leaves us with 3 vacancies. We have these vacancies because 3 police officers recently left. One of them left for a much larger agency. I understand it. Much more opportunity in a larger agency, more money, more room for advancement. It's a 2,000-man agency. So it's tough to compete with that. The other 2 left for smaller agencies, make more money, less call volume, better health care, a cheaper cost for health care for the same health care as here. But it's also a lifestyle change. You know, there's more than just money in health care. I'm not saying that's the only reason why people leave. But when you go to work in a much smaller community, much more affluent communities, you have a hell of a lot less work to do, and you're still making the same, if not more, working there than working here. So it's tough to compete with that. The three candidates that are here, remotely tonight, I told them to go remote or they would have all been here. Well, one of them's working, so he couldn't be here. But they'll be at the council meeting. They're in a little bit different position than in the past when I've come forward to the PPP, because going back to as far as the dinosaur age when I was hired, we would come to the council, we'd get appointed as police officers, and then all the testing would be done after that. The only thing that would be done when we brought their names to council would be background checks. I don't know if it's a sign of the times, but several candidates that have come forward to all of you in the past couple of years, we've put them through the process and they've failed various aspects of the hiring, be it medical, physical, things like that. So these three candidates have gone through everything. They've gone to the medical, they've gone to the physical abilities test, they've passed everything. The next step would be going to an academy and passing that. So I'm kind of circling back, and the way that we do things now going forward, you will not get a candidate until they're polished and they've now completed everything other than the academy. Just because, again, I think it's a sign of the times. It's never been an issue. It just kind of started the last couple of years. With that said, all three of the candidates that are remote tonight, they're all on the eligible list that I received from Civil Service in Boston, the Human Resources Division, and these are the top candidates in the opinion of the town, on the town side of the house. And I'll get into the candidates now if you want, Mr. Chair.
You have the first one? You got
Aaron Berry.
Aaron Berry.
So I know the information's redacted on resumes and applications for the council and the citizen members, but Mr. Berry, many of you might already know, he's a lifelong Southbridge resident. He's going to have his bachelor's degree within the next few months. He was a college athlete. He's currently assigned as a manager at a large a business that's been in a neighboring community for about 40 years now. He had an absolutely impeccable background. We could not find anybody to say anything bad about him, and he's looking to get to start a law enforcement career. And I highly recommend him to council.
Questions, comments? Council Lazo.
Just a quick comment. It's always a pleasure to see somebody from Southbridge. I'm very familiar with this gentleman. He played youth football. He grew up in Southbridge. He's one of the guys I don't think will run to the city of Charlton if he gets on. I think his pride is here. As we say, bleeds red. And I welcome this appointment. Thank you.
Thank you. Council Catrona.
Quickly, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Through you to the chief, I certainly welcome these new appointments, at least up to full council this evening, and I'll certainly be voting in favor of them. Is there the percentage that it costs us to bring the officers that left the town, is any of that money reimbursed to the town by the officers?
Yes, and the only option that we have at this point, Councilor Catrona, through you, Mr. Chair, would be a $3,000 reimbursement for academy tuition.
Okay.
They sign a waiver when they start with us, but it's only good for 3 years. So out of the candidates that left us, one of them just crossed that barrier. The other one only has a year and a half, and he's going to the state police. The other one had been here 10 or 11 years.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything further? All right. Seeing none. Roll call. Council Lazo.
Yes.
Council Catrona.
Yes.
Council Adams.
Yes.
Citizen Member Julian.
Yes.
Citizen Member Laverne.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Look forward to seeing you Monday night, Aaron, for the full council meeting. And we will have those candidates here in chambers, correct?
Yes.
Thank you. Agenda item 8, review and discuss the appointment of Brian Blomgren as a full-time police officer effective immediately upon completion of the state ethics training, all medical and physical testing, and successful completion of the police academy. Entertain a motion to recommend to council for confirmation.
So moved. Second.
Councilor Lazo and Councilor Catrona. Chief?
Again, through you, Mr. Chair, Mr. Blomgren, as you can see in the background, is currently working at the Communications Center in Webster, so he couldn't be here tonight. He's an Oxford resident, and for the first time in my career, which started in 1995, and this is certainly not unique to Southbridge, I'll say that, we are now on the qualified non-resident list because we've exhausted our resident list. It never happened, but I know it's happened in many, many departments throughout the Commonwealth in the last year or two. And again, not unique to us, but Mr. Blomgren lives in Oxford, not a resident, but he's on our list. We've exhausted our current list. The next test for the civil service is June 12th, and hopefully we get some more good residential candidates, but for now, Mr. Blomgren certainly fits our need. He's got a bachelor's degree in criminal justice. He's a full-time dispatcher for the Webster Dudley Communications Center. He's a part-time police officer in Webster, which means he completed the Reserve Intermittent Academy, which is in 2016, which is 500 some odd hours of training. Again, paid his own tuition, paid for his own equipment, volunteered on his own time, shows his commitment to this profession. He was a police officer out of City Hospital. He was a security officer, impeccable background, and looking to further his law enforcement career as a full-time police officer.
Thank you. Questions, comments? Brian, I welcome you. I do know Brian. I knew him probably, I don't know when you graduated from Anna Maria College, but we used to have a lot of conversations at Anna Maria College. And I do know he comes from a family that says the state police background. So Brian, welcome.
Thank you.
Look forward to it. Any questions of the councilors? Seeing none, roll call. Councilor Lazo.
Yes.
Councilor Catrona.
Yes.
Councilor Adams.
Yes.
Citizen Member Julian.
Yes.
Citizen Member Laverne.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Item 9, review and discuss the appointment, hopefully I say this right, is it Iliab
Yes.
Maldonado as a full-time police officer effective immediately upon completion of the state ethics training, all medical and physical testing, and successful completion of the police academy. Entertain a motion to vote to recommend to council for confirmation.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Second by Lazo. Chief?
Mr. Maldonado was a lifelong Southbridge resident. He's bilingual. He also completed the Reserve Intermittent Police Academy back in 2019. And again, that's 520 hours of volunteer work, essentially, tuition and equipment, all on his own time. Mr. Maldonado kind of got sidetracked a little bit because there was a birth in the family, and that kind of put his law enforcement career on hold once he got out of that academy. But he's been at INCOM for the last 12 years, looking for a career change, and he has that reserve and training already. He's familiar with our business and our field anyway. Impeccable background, and we highly recommend him for appointment.
Okay. Questions, comments? Seeing none, roll call. Councilor Lazo.
Yes.
Councilor Catrona.
Yes.
Councilor Adams.
Yes.
Citizen Member Julian.
Yes.
Citizen Member Laverne.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Look forward to seeing you gentlemen on Monday night. You'll be the first candidates that have been able to come before the council for over a year and a half, so we look forward to seeing you here. I just have one question for the chief before we move on to the fire department. If they are appointed on Monday night, what's the anticipated academy date?
In October.
October.
Would they be starting within a couple weeks? We'd put them inside, working the desk, answering the phones, things of that nature.
So that would help with your desk.
Absolutely.
information. But October for the academy.
Yeah, I think the second Monday in October, sir.
Do you know which one they're going to go to?
Western Mass.
Western Mass. Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Thanks. See you Monday night. Item 10, review and discuss a fire department transfer request from account number 00122-585-600, safety equipment to account number 00122-524200, data processing in the amount of $7,801.20 to cover the cost of new software. Entertain a motion to vote to recommend the council to approve this transfer.
So moved.
Second.
Council Catrona and Lazo. Chief Normandy?
Good evening, everybody. Chairman, council members, citizen members, and town manager, thank you tonight. We have obviously several, the next items are transfers and also some discussions in regards to other things that we have going on at the fire department. But this particular matter, if you all recall, many years ago, our fire department dispatch center had pretty much dispatched all the fire services for the fire and EMS services for the department. At that time, we purchased a product called IMC. It's now called Central Square TriTech. It's a computer-aided dispatching software product that we have. So as you very well know, that our dispatch center merged with the police department last October. Knowing now what we know is that we do not need to continue to have a CAD. The CAD is set up at the police station. It's run by the dispatchers in the police department. So they manage the CAD, which is, like I said, the computer automated dispatch, where they take a 911 call or any call, input it in there, give it to the police department, give it to the ambulance, give it to the fire department. So basically there is no need for us to continue to pay for a CAD. Knowing that, the product that we do, the TriTech product that we have currently, We've been trying to do pre-planning of buildings around town, put it in a software package. This package, the IMC product, does not do that pre-planning, so we want to take a very large building, a very small building, and start pre-planning the town for fire services and EMS services. So as we move forward in technology, a first responder, no matter what it is on the fire or ambulance side, to be able to take their tablet with this new software, pop on the building. They know where the exit is, they know where the key box is, they know everything they need to know about the building just by a touch of a button. Our product currently, right now, does not provide that. Other things that the newer product will give us is actually an online, instead of a piece of paper, inventory, a daily inventory. Every vehicle gets checked by each incoming group, so that this new software will have a asset inventory tracking. Again, I talked about incident pre-planning. There is a very large piece of fire prevention and investigation piece where the state documents for smoke and CO detection permits are done. So Lieutenant Lavoie, or whoever's filling in for him, can actually be in the field with his tablet, fill out the form, and print that form and give it to the occupant that's getting the permit. So we're really bringing our software with this particular piece into the 2000s, we'll say. So the need to have the old software it does not work for us. This new software we've evaluated. We will be probably adding more modules to this later on. There's actually a piece that's called a citizen contact. So anybody that has a question about a smoke detector, dumpster guidelines and things like that, they can actually ask us within the software, and we can answer them, tell them how much it costs for the permit, and give them, pretty much what they need right online, because that's kind of where we're going nowadays. Now it's phone calls back and forth and voicemails and things like that. So right now I'm looking for the initial onset of starting up this program. We've worked with the vendor. We evaluated three other vendors, and this vendor seemed to be the best one that we figured we could work out with. We did reach out to a couple of other fire departments that did just recently signed on to First Do, and they really spoke of them highly. So that's my recommendation. Thank you.
Any questions? Councilor Adams, you all set? Good. All right. Roll call. Councilor Lazo.
Yes.
Councilor Catrona.
Yes?
Councilor Adams.
Yes.
Citizen Member Julian.
Yes.
Citizen Member Laverne.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Review and discuss a fire department transfer request from account number 001220-519-300 tuition to account number 001220-569-000 licensing, permits, and taxes in the amount of $1,300 to cover costs for CMed dues assessment for FY 2021. Entertaining a motion to recommend the council.
So move.
Second?
Council Lazo, Council Catrona, Chief.
So again, thank you, Mr. Chairman. In regards to this is a yearly due that we get sent to us from Central Mass EMS Corporation. A little background on them. They have an operating switchboard in Holden that monitors and maintains and patches in each ambulance that goes in, that uses the radio. They patch them into each of the individual hospitals that a patient is being sent to. So this system has always been on a dues process. Every year it fluctuates in price. I've seen it as low as $5,900 up to last year we were up to almost $7,200. This year's 6802 bill is pretty concurrent with what we had a decrease in ambulance calls during the COVID time. I can't say we are back up to regular call volume, daily call volume, but so this is a retrospect of the bill for the last year. Again, this is a line item that was unfunded by the previous town manager. I kept telling him we needed to increase it more, and unfortunately it did not happen. So again, we're looking to do a small transfer of $1,300.
Any questions, comments? Council Lazo.
I'm just going to comment to the manager through the chair. I assume you're in favor of these transfers?
Yes, I've signed off on them. They were presented to me earlier, about a week or so ago. Generally, I have conversation with Ms. Harnois and/or the chief about all these, as I do with everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. June?
Through you to the chief. Did you adjust your budget for next year already?
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
Okay.
Thank you. I did take that CMed class online. It was very informative about how they do the CMed, so
It's pretty intensive, pretty good program, and it's very valuable for us to continue to keep that connection. We have to, actually, by OEMS regulations.
Having not done a patch for CMed for 20 years, I was amazed at how much it's changed and how busy they really are and what value they are to, especially with our trucks going to the city all the time, so. Any further discussion? Seeing none, Council Lazo,
Yes.
Council Catrona,
Yes.
Council Adams,
Yes.
Citizen Member Julian,
Yes.
Citizen Member Laverne.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Item 13, review and discuss a fire department transfer request from account number 00122-519300 tuition to account number 00122-558700 parts and accessories non-vehicle in the amount of $1,700 to cover cost of SCBA self-contained breathing apparatus, yearly testing and certification of air packs and bottles. Entertain a motion to recommend council approve this transfer.
So moved.
Second.
Chief?
So again, this is another one of the underfunded line items for previous year. This line item, we usually generally fix saws, rotating saws, circular saws, any of our water pumps within portable equipment. We do have some pumps that we can carry to to a pond or a pool and take their water away. The biggest cost of this line item is the SCBA parts. Last year, this project was right around $2,400. We recently just did our project. We have to do this yearly. It certifies all of our breathing apparatus, the Scot SCBAs. And this year, we're estimated, because of some repairs that were done during that visit, it's going to be around $3,000. And that brings us to the point where the $1,700 needed for a transfer to make this happen.
Thank you. Any questions, comments?
I just have one question.
Go ahead, Councilman McCray.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, through you. SCBA, can you tell me what that means again?
Self-contained breathing apparatus.
All right, thank you.
Chief, just, and I meant to ask on the other one, tuition, is that because anticipated tuition reimbursements are less than what was budgeted based on who you thought was going to take classes?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you. Any other discussion? Seeing none, Council Lazo,
Yes.
Council Catrona,
Yes.
Council Adams,
Yes.
Citizen Member Julian,
Yes.
Citizen Member Laverne.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Item 13, review and discuss a fire department transfer request from account number 001220-586200 medical equipment to account number 001220-550000 health supplies in the amount of $2,142.97 to cover costs for health supplies. Entertain a motion to recommend the council to approve this
So
transfer.
moved.
Second.
Catrona and Lazo. Chief?
So obviously, our health supplies are a constant. This year, we did use quite a bit of PPE for COVID-19. We are getting towards the last couple of weeks of the year, of our financial year. This account here, this 5862, is the account that I expressed that actually we took in the FY22 budget. We closed that out with talking with the finance director. She said, we basically transfer this money every year to the medical supplies anyway, so this actually will, this transfer will close out 5862 for this year, and we won't have that moving forward, and then it takes out the remaining balance of 2142.97 to purchase ongoing EMS supplies.
Any questions, comments? Seeing none, Council Lazo,
Yes.
Council Catrona,
Yes.
Council Adams,
Yes.
Citizen Member Julian,
Yes.
Citizen Member Laverne.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Review and discuss the fire department's request to declare as surplus the following items: several sets of structural firefighting gear to include helmets, coats, pants, and boots, computers and monitors, and several Scot Air Packs. Entertain a motion to recommend council declare these items as surplus and approve the disposal of said equipment.
So moved.
Second.
Council Catrona and Lazo. Chief?
So again, as most of you know, we did have a little water incident above my office. this past year. And while we were cleaning out the area above my office, a lot of these older computers and monitors were found. We also did some cleaning in the backside of the station, which we found several pairs of structural firefighting gear that were actually either there or on the floor. With our ongoing gear replacement process, this stuff has been stacked up for the last couple of years for the firefighting gear. You got to remember that structural firefighting gear has a 10-year window. All of this gear has been tagged and assetted and is over the 10-year mark. This includes helmets, coats, pants, and boots. So at this point, that equipment is no longer able to be used for a structural firefighter. Getting back to the third item, the Scot Air Packs. Again, these actually, majority of these packs are well over 20 years old. Again, these were all assetted on our sheets and put into a spreadsheet, and we're looking to do the correct way of surplus through the council with your recommendation.
Thank you. Questions, comments? Citizen Member Liver?
When something like that enters surplus, how is it disposed of?
We throw it away.
Just throw it away?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything further? Seeing none? Roll call, Council Lazo.
Yes.
Council Catrona.
Yes.
Council Adams.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just real quick, I know you're voting right now. I have my hand up.
Oh, I'm sorry, I should have checked. Next time, be here,
No
Council.
worries.
What's
I
that?
was asking the chief real quick. This inventory gear, was this ever on an inventory sheet? As far as something that you account for every single year or something like that?
Was there any previously inventory list that it was on a list?
So this gear, I can tell you exactly, this gear was purchased on a grant in 2011. So all of this was inventoried, and Ms. Harnois and we both have copies of that list. So this list would be terminated.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
And yes.
Thank you. Citizen Member June?
Yes.
Citizen Member Laverne?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. And I was in the fire station. I did see the accounting that you were doing and all that stuff, so. And a big sign that said, "Don't touch."
That would be Deputy Hewlett's sign, do not touch.
Do not touch. Audit in place. So I did see that, so.
I just might put one comment, just of any computer people out there. The hard drives have been taken out of these computers, so there's nothing there. And I do know we have an electronics day coming up, and hopefully we can just transfer it to that.
Thank you.
And get it disposed of that way, sorry.
No, good. That's a good point. Thank you. Item 15, review and discuss the Fire Department award of the fiscal year 2021 Student Awareness of Fire Education SAFE Grant Award in the amount of $5,281 for the SAFE Grant and $2,680 for the Senior SAFE Grant. Entertain a motion to recommend council to accept this grant.
So moved.
Second.
Catrona and Lazo, Chief.
So again, this has been an ongoing yearly thing. Firefighter Gary Peck is our SAFE, we'll just call him, for this case, the SAFE coordinator. He goes out and does SAFE senior education. He spends multiple days at the school system when school's in service, in place. Last year's grant, we've actually done some restocking of supplies that we've given out over the years. So this SAFE grant, I'm asking, and we got these totals here. We're going to, obviously the school is going to be back into session here in the fall time, and the senior programs will be starting up due to the COVID pandemic kind of winding down. So my request to you guys is to accept this as a grant, and we'll move forward. All the credit really goes to Gary Peck because he puts these together every year.
Thank you. Any questions? Seeing none. Roll call. Council Lazo.
Yes.
Council Catrona.
Yes.
Council Adams.
Yes.
Citizen Member Julian.
Yes.
Citizen Member Laverne.
Yes.
Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion and second. Roll call. Council Lazo.
Yes.
Council Catrona.
Yes.
Council Adams.
Yes.
Citizen Member Julian.
Yes.
Citizen Member Laverne.
Yes.
Thank you. Have a good evening.